So your journey with the Frame Group, lessons learned, failures, successes, maybe that also helped you to shape and derive how the corporate governance of the country would look like. Take us through the journey with the Frame Group.
The Frame Group was interesting. It was the biggest textile manufacturer in the Southern Hemisphere. The man who started it, Philip Frame, didn't believe in renewing plant and machinery, in other words, getting rid of old machinery. Because of the Nationalist Party political situation, the movement to the so-called homelands, they were very pleased that Mr. Frame moved his old machinery to there and created jobs, and they subsidized the wages. The same thing he did in Malawi, he did in Zimbabwe. So the company was spread all over Southern Africa, but the governments were subsidizing the wages. And he had a paper-thin margin, but obviously not sustainable.
Yeah.
And when the political climate changed, I mean, the thing was running into terrible trouble. And they asked me to come be the chairman and try and correct the company. It took us 5 to 7 years, but we corrected it. And how did we correct it? We had to close from Malawi, from Blantyre all the way down to Cape Town. Many factories. Harrismith, East London.
Wow.
Those towns were almost destroyed because in Harrismith we employed over 1,000 people. It was virtually the whole of Harrismith. So the mayor begged us not to, but I had to do what I had to do to act in the best long-term interest of the health of the company. And we then bought new plant and machinery. We actually raised 490 million rand to do it. I suppose it's 4 billion rand today. And we refocused the company back just in Durban. And with the new plant and machinery, we could make the same amount of fabric that was being made from Blantyre to Cape Town, simply because of the advance in machinery, advanced machinery. And it's also very interesting that you remind me, Tamela, that the jean fabric, and we all wear jeans, that jean fabric, to get that faded look, takes over 1,000 liters of water.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable, because especially in a water-constrained country. So I said to our machine manufacturer, can't you design a machine that uses less water? And they thought about it. And it took them about 2 years to design, and this machine was actually put into a factory in Durban, in GIBS. And it used a maximum amount of 600 liters for a pair of jeans. So every pair of jeans, we were saving 400 liters of water. And being the largest manufacturer of that kind of fabric, it was, I don't know how many liters of water we've saved over 30 years, but it's a lot of water. And it struck me that we as individuals have to do something in our personal lives, but not only that, but in directing a company which was and is the biggest user of natural assets in the world, is using, as I'm talking to you, natural assets faster than nature is regenerating them, while population is growing. In 15 years' time, 12 to 15 years, we're going to have 9 billion people on the planet. At the moment, we've got 8 billion.
Yeah.
And we've got to feed them, we've got to look after them, and the earth has got to sustain them. Meanwhile, we've got this awesome responsibility as Homo sapiens, as the creature at the top of the creature pile, to look after the planet. We've failed in that duty to date. And this thinking now of value creation and value reporting is actually helping change that thinking. And boards are thinking about, when they build their business model, they take into account how the company is going to make its product, how will it impact not only economically, but socially and environmentally. So today, the question of sustainability is how the company makes its money, its activities, how they impact on the economy, society, and the environment. So it's inside out. But in 2008, 2009, we went through the collapse of Lehman Brothers,
Yes.
which was one of the major financial powerhouses of the world. And we also went to the GFC. And we could see that, in fact, the economy, society, particularly with COVID, and the environment, floods, bushfires, climate change, see now how those three elements were impacting on the value from the outside in. So sustainability, like a coin, has now been seen as inside out and outside in. And that's called double materiality. And the EU, some years ago, passed laws which said by such a date no more combustion engine motor cars can be built in the EU. No more plant and machinery at factories can be energized by fossil fuels. So when they came to do their standards for sustainability reporting, they were actually constrained by the laws that had already been passed.
Yeah.
You see. And they've drawn up standards for sustainability reporting, which has now been legislated, and it's mandatory for all companies in the European Union, France, Germany, Italy, etc., great economies, which are double materially, inside out and outside in. Meanwhile, the IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards Board, their financial reporting standards under the International Accounting Standards Board, we adopted here in South Africa.
Yes.
Through the Financial Reporting Standards Council, established in terms of Section 203 of the Companies Act. So it's a statutory body, but it deals only with saying how we as directors must approve and the management must draw the accounts of the company, what standard. It's only financial. They have to amend the Companies Act to include sustainability issues. They'll have to change the name Financial Reporting Standards Council, let's say, to Corporate Reporting Standards Council. They'll have to put people on that council who are not only accountants, ecologists, climate change experts, etc., etc. Then we have got to that council has to make up its mind what is in the long-term best interest of South Africa, which standard should we pick as a developing economy, and also having regard to the fact that our major trading partner is the European Union.